Today's unfortunate story is about an Anthony Eugene Robinson. He's known to be an American serial killer who murdered at least 4 women in the state of Washington, D.C., and transported their bodies using a shopping cart, thus dubbing him the shopping cart killer. As of the year 2023, he has been incarcerated and imprisoned in the Rockingham-Harrisburg Regional Jail, in fact, without any bail. Now, to break in the story a little further, there was a lady by the name of Monica White. She said that she has dated this guy, and without knowing his dark secrets, it's a total shock to her and mine.
A grisly crime caught on camera. The man police dubbed the shopping cart killer is accused in at least 5 murders, charged with 2 of them. Anthony Robinson is behind bars awaiting trial for the murder of 2 Virginia women, and he says they died after overdosing. But authorities have a much different story and say they have evidence to prove otherwise.
Caught up in the moment, Monica White said she felt very lucky to be alive. She was dating a man that she saw no troubling signs at all. Miss White unfortunately met Mr. Robinson in late 2020 on a dating app. Miss White goes on to say the story that when she met Mr. Robinson, they started video chatting, and she thought it was just a companionship thing. She'd been divorced for 3 years and wanted to try out the online thing, and then she met him. Mr. Robinson went on to tell her that he had a daughter and worked in waste management removal. And at first, she thought this was a normal thing. In January 2021, Robinson traveled from Harrisburg, Virginia to Mecklenburg, Pennsylvania to meet Miss White in person. But she said things felt wrong from the minute she picked him up at the bus station.
Robinson is accused of killing 54-year-old Aline Redmond and 39-year-old Tanita Louise Smith last fall. Police rolled surveillance footage in court yesterday during a preliminary hearing, which showed Redmond going into Robinson's hotel room, but she never came out alive.
Miss White went on to say that she saw some red flags at the first visit. He was like, please don't judge me straight off the bat, let's get to know each other. I don't like when women reject me. So that was a red flag that she seen actually in his conversation. Miss White said due to his smooth conversation and just things being unsettling, she decided to go ahead and go with him, It was the fact that he was a cool dude, he was nice, but also things began to get weird, particularly in the bedroom, she states. Miss White says that in the bedroom, he wanted to keep trying to tie her up, and she wasn't very into that. But he pulled her arms behind her back and then grabbed her by her neck, and he wanted to get rough. And unfortunately, after that first visit, Mr. Robinson told her that he wanted to move in with her, and he wanted to make things better than what it is, but she thought that things were going too damn fast. Mr. Robinson wasn't afraid to ask, but he decided to go and ask her anyways. He asked her if he can come back in the following month, because he heard that Miss White's birthday was coming up, which had been her 54th birthday.
Instead, Robinson is seen pushing a shopping cart with what police say was her lifeless body and white bed sheets.
Mr. Robinson arrived 1 week earlier before her birthday. He also bought himself a one-way bus ticket and told her that he had some good news because he found a job in the area. He had a lot of job offers, so he decided to take a job offer in this area. Because what happened before, back in the time of her first encounter in the bedroom with Mr. Robinson, she was alarmed, but she refused to be physically intimate with him again. So while sleeping in her bed, he actually ended up peeing in her bed on her birthday. She could not believe it, she states, but she allowed him to sleep in the bed, and this man turns around and just pees in her bed. But the whole thing is that ultimately, Miss White did tell Mr. Robinson that she did not want a relationship with him, any and at all. So Mr. Robinson began snapping at this point. So she told him to get his stuff and get out. Miss White gave Robinson $20 to go to the train station. Miss White later learned that Robinson did not leave town, but he was staying at a motel nearby. Mr. Robinson even went as far as to proposition her to come to his motel room. He offered her $500. She refused. No way am I going. So one day she was driving by the motel and saw him outside. He actually looked like a total different man, she states. Something snapped in him. I don't know whether he was doing drugs or ended up totally flipping out, she states. It was like, I seen a ghost. A damn monster.
Fairfax County Police arresting a man they call the shopping cart killer, 35-year-old Anthony Robinson, accused of murdering at least 4 women.
Back in November, police in Harrisonburg found 2 bodies in a vacant lot. Robinson was later arrested for that, and police in the district started investigating him in connection to the death of Cheyenne Brown.
Months went by as Miss White has not seen Mr. Robinson. And also months later, Mr. Robinson got arrested in November 2021. Miss White's cousin showed her a news article with Robinson's mugshot and the shocking allegation that he was a serial killer. Miss Monica White started putting the puzzle pieces together and noticed that some of the pieces did not fit. Miss White doesn't believe that Robinson wanted to kill her, but she's worried that her rejection might have been the reason why it sparked his rage. Miss White goes on to state that she feels that the reason why he might have snapped because of her dismissal of him. She had actually allowed this man into her home, allowed him to stay overnight in her home, then to find out later, he started killing people.
Found 2 bodies in a vacant lot. Robinson was later arrested for that, and police in the district started investigating him in connection to the death of Cheyenne Brown. She went missing on September 30th. Fairfax County Police believe they found her body near a shopping cart in Alexandria in the very same container where Brown's remains were found. Police say another person's remains were there. That person has not yet been identified.
Investigators believe Robinson met his victims on dating sites, took them to motels, then used a shopping cart to dispose of their remains in various locations. They think there may be more victims out there. Police say Robinson is transient. He had addresses in New York, Prince George's County, and D.C. He also had many jobs and no criminal history. Now authorities are trying to figure out.
Of course, Mr. Robinson has pleaded not guilty to 2 murder charges and is currently awaiting trial in a Virginia jail. He has not been charged in the 4 other women's deaths, which remain under total investigation. I hope you guys enjoyed this unfortunate story of the victims murdered by Anthony Robinson. A lot more coming from Tombstone Whispers. I'm Mr. Wade and Mrs. Crime. Stay tuned for a lot more, and remember, we bring it to you.